like the
everybody.
beat.
Welcome. I'm Sophia Parola with the Garden State Film Festival, and here with me is producer, writer, director of Kiss the Cook, Matt Kenny. Matt, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Sophia.
Thank you. So, before we get started, can you tell everybody who's watching a little bit about yourself and your short film?
Sure. So I'm a writer, producer, and recently decided to try directing. I live in New York. I make my living in TV. I do post-production for a lot of documentaries, and then my passion projects. I make time for those when those contracts aren't on. I'm a headline contributor for The Onion, which is a lot of fun. And yeah, I live here in New York. I'm in the apartment where we filmed Kiss the Cook. It all took place in the kitchen. That's right over there. So yeah, that's basically it.
Wow, that's not a bit. You do a lot, and that's amazing. Congrats on your successful career. I'm
Oh,
really
thank
happy
you.
that you find time to do your passion projects, which Kiss the Cook is one of them. Can you tell everybody a
Yeah,
little bit about, yeah, this film?
sure. So I hadn't really directed before. I'd made films before, but as a writer, producer, and I just sort of came around on the idea that I wanted to direct. And I just kind of had this idea come to me of a man, a very strange man making a very intricate dinner, and it just sort of fell into place. And I had a friend named Josh Tobin who plays the cook, and I sort of wrote it with him in mind, and I shared the script with him, and it all just, I had a number of friends who we sort of take turns volunteering on each other's sets, and just had a great crew. We filmed it in one day in my apartment. And it was yeah, it was just a ton of fun. And I specifically wanted to do something because we do a lot of sketch comedy, me and my friends, and I wanted to do something with almost no dialogue. And as anybody who sees the film knows, there's very little dialogue. And just wanted to
Right.
concentrate on dynamic images and cool ideas that are communicating things without actually speaking. And I hope we, achieve that.
Yeah, you definitely did. I mean, you didn't need any dialogue. I know you had a little bit in the end there, but how do you write, a script or a story without any dialogue? And how did it come to you? Did you just see the images in your head? Like, what did that process look like?
It started with the image that first popped into my head was different from what we ultimately filmed, but I just had I don't know, it's like sometimes things just pop into your head. Like I had this image of like a stark black and white kitchen and a man making like a pie, but he's really angry. And then that turn, I don't know how to make a pie, so I wrote about something I do know how to make, which is a beef stew. And that has a bunch of different ingredients, and then you get like the chopping and the sniffing and the cracking and all the different elements that go into that. So yeah, just sort of a weird idea that kind of like a lightning in a bottle situation that just popped into my head, and I said like, okay, yeah, let's just run with that.
How did you direct Josh when the time came? So you're friends with him, so I'm guessing you guys have,
Yeah.
a good relationship and dynamic. And how do you direct someone with all he was so comedic and very expressive, and yeah, how did you direct him?
Well, he first of all is just like so funny and dynamic on his own. And like I had actually, so our girlfriends are old friends, and that's how we met. And I before I really knew him too well, I saw him in a character showcase in New York, and he was just doing the funniest, like strangest characters. And I could just sort of, you just sort of get a sense that people are on the same page about like what's funny about something. And I gave him a lot of backstory, about the character, like sort of how I envisioned it. And he brought so much to the table as well. So we just sort of talked about who this guy is, why he's like this, what's motivating him. And, in each scene, like I also just tried to design it in a way where each scene was its own little like action that could be specifically directed. Like, okay, when you're pounding the beef with the mallet, like here's what you're picturing. And it was very collaborative and not hard because Josh is so innately talented and committed. That I mean, to me, he's a super nice guy, but I think he like I mean I've shown like friends and family, and they're like, this guy's like really creepy. And he's not that
Creepy
in
in a
real life
great
at all.
way,
But
yeah.
yes, yeah. So he just made my job super easy by being so talented.
No. So you obviously have a lot of experience in the entertainment business and, video and equipment wise, but you said this was the first time you directed a short film?
Yeah.
Wow, congrats, because it came out great, obviously, and you're
Thank you.
here. Do you have any
Thanks.
advice for other filmmakers who want to go on the same path you have, and what have you learned, directing this film that's different than what you've learned in the past?
Sure. I mean, I went to film school, and I think there's a lot of, sort of controversial opinions about film school, whether it's worth it. Should you take that money and do something else? I mean, I did learn a fair amount about writing at Emerson College. I'll give my alma mater a shout out. But I think most importantly, and this is also advice people have heard before, but there's just no substitute for making work. You just have to make it. And you know what? It's not, make it with a cell phone, or make it, find that friend who has a camera. And to me, filmmaking, because we've worked on other projects, is like, it's just problem solving. Like, it goes back to that old Edison quote, which I don't even know if it's real, but it's a good quote, which is like, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb. And it's really, to me, that it like sums it up perfectly, that like, if you're unsure, or like, there's always an excuse to not make something, which we all, I think, have to battle against. And it's like, just make it. And if it doesn't come out perfect, well, good news. There's never been a perfect film. So, like,
I love
just
that.
try it.
Yes, I love that. Everything you just said, Matt. I couldn't feel more. This was great to wrap up this. I would love to ask you how you heard about the Garden State Film Festival. And how's it feel having Kiss the Cook screening at the 20th anniversary this year?
I'm so excited. I'm an alum of the festival. I had a film that I wrote and produced screen there in 2019, and we had a great turnout. I have a lot of friends and family in the New Jersey area. My dad lives in New Jersey, and so expecting a good turnout. So excited to go there. I'm going to be there. My partner Kate, who worked on the film, will be there. Josh will be there, so people will get to see the cook in person, which hopefully will raise a few eyebrows. But it's so exciting. This is the first time I'm going to see it on the big screen, actually. So it's very, very special for
Wow.
me.
Amazing. I love that. And congratulations to you, Josh, everyone involved. I'm so happy to hear that you're going to be at the screening. So definitely, everybody watching, check it out at the Garden State Film Festival in person. It will be virtually, but in person, you get to meet the cast and crew. And Josh, who I'm guessing isn't that creepy in real life. He
No,
sounds like
only
a
about
great guy.
50%. Yeah.
Okay, not bad at all. People can
Yeah.
digest that. Well, thank you, Matt, so much for taking the time out to talk to us about your film. Congratulations. Before we go, let me tell you how you can check out Kiss the Cook. Access it online, of course, but if you want to see it in person, see it at the Berkeley Hotel in the Kingsley Ballroom, Saturday, March 26th, in the film block 6 to 8 p.m. So definitely check it out. And thank you so much, Matt. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Sophia. Thanks so much.